And here we go. Welcome to the Aired Out Podcast, right here on Main Street in Barrie, Vermont, in the Fly on the Wall production studio, directly across from Nelson's Hardware, where they had an amazing Ladies' Day last night. Ladies' Day at night. But yeah, I mean, it was a great time. Great turnout. Bob said that they had people lined up at the door waiting to come in
well,
at
of course
5
they
o'clock.
did.
So that's pretty awesome.
I'd wait to see Bob.
I mean, they had great prizes, 20% off, store-wide.
Awesome.
You name it. They have it over there. Anyway, do you know they even have Pepto?
Bismol?
Yes.
Everybody should have Pepto
They have,
Bismol.
you can even get Pepto at Nelson's.
You can get anything at
It's
Nelson's.
crazy.
Yeah.
Heat patches for the backache. You know,
20% off store-wide?
Yeah.
When
For
is
Ladies'
when
Day.
is Men's Day?
Well, this is
Well, every day is Men's Day at Nelson's.
right. That
You
is
go
what
in, I broke it. Can
somebody
you help me?
replied. Right. That's
I
what
get it.
somebody replied. Alice Farrell actually is who said that. JD said, "Is there going to be a men's night?" And that's what Alice's reply. It's always men's night at Nelson's.
It is. They're always helpful.
Yeah.
You go in there, you need the most obscure nut bolt part, and someone will help you find it.
And there's no self-checkout. That's my favorite part.
No self-checkout?
Yes. Literally, there's always somebody there to help you. You're not trying to do all that stuff yourself and figure it out. And no,
Yeah, don't do it.
you don't need to do any of
I
that.
don't do it.
Yeah, you don't need to do
I
any
don't
of that.
do self-checkout.
No.
I'm a little paranoid in that respect.
Yeah, well, and I don't like to do it. It's
But it is fascinating.
kind of crazy.
Like when you scan the item and then you put it in the bag and there's a sensor.
Yes.
And then at some point in the I stopped doing it when, I was always very careful. I would count the items and then you're leaving the store and a clerk like runs up to you like you're some sort of criminal.
Right.
Or something. And they want to check your bag. I'm like, well, why the heck
Right.
didn't you just check me out
Right.
in the yeah, whatever.
And then
Don't
we
get me
wouldn't have
going.
gotta worried about it.
Don't get me going.
Yeah.
It's a great day today. so.
Exactly. It is a great day. It is a great day.
How are you doing?
Good. Good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Very busy towards the end of the year. A lot of tax planning, a lot of real estate activity. So, we have a closing today. That we pre-sign everything, so we're good there. And Sarah takes really good care of us. But yeah, it gets busy. So today I'm just a little worried about the weather. I keep watching the weather forecast. My little girl is coming home on Friday. It's a direct flight from Denver, so.
Well,
I'm hopeful, but
but
I'm a little, at first it said 1 inches and now all of a sudden, it seems to be getting a little more.
It definitely blew up overnight.
Look, I'll
what
carry
they're
her home on
saying.
my back if they can land that
Right.
plane safely.
That's
so
right. That's
I'm
all.
not worried about getting her from
Burlington
BTV
home.
to home. Hopefully I think I'm going to text her and I'm going to encourage her to grab a flight if she can find a flight.
A little bit
out
early.
of Denver. Yeah, I'm going to encourage her to try to maybe grab a flight today.
Today.
I don't want her late. I want the maximum amount of dad time.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, we're not.
Because
We're
that's
not cutting my
horrible.
time short.
Yeah,
So we'll
it's
see.
horrible when
Hopefully
that
it'll work out.
happens.
Let's be optimistic. It's going to work out fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll bring her in next Wednesday.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Miranda is the
she
national.
does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she is a busy young lady. Very proud of her. She's the national operations coordinator for No Kid Hungry, which is an organization that has they have offices in all 50 states except for Vermont. So I don't know. She may have plans.
Maybe we should change that.
She may have plans when she comes home to change that. But proud of both my kids.
and maybe
They're
then
awesome.
she could run the office right from here. I mean, pretty much the same sort of weather.
Well, she's
right?
fully remote,
Yeah.
but she does a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So for her, Denver, it might be tough. The travel could be tough out of Burlington because Burlington isn't exactly a mecca
Right.
of flight activity.
No.
So she can always,
We like
catch
to
a
think
flight. I
so,
mean, Denver's
but-
Midwest, but yeah, so maybe she'll come in. Or hey, we'll just stay home and you get another counselor. Get Booten, get
Yeah.
Jake, get Sam,
We'll
get Mel.
wrangle one of them into coming up.
Teddy's out right now. He's in Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen the
Yeah,
pictures.
I've been following that. He and
has done
Shirley
some
look like they're having a great time
beautiful pictures.
there. So, yeah.
And I
So
heard
everything's
you
good.
talk last night about that you are going to be taking a little trip yourself, and that with Karen, that you got a very special invite.
Yeah, so Senator-elect Welch sent Karen and I an invitation to his inauguration in Washington. I mean, I've always had a friendship. I'll call him Peter, even though respectfully I should call him Senator-elect, and then soon Senator. But Peter and I have always had a great relationship, and we've had a lot of fun and done some good things together. And so, yeah, and obviously I supported his campaign. We did a fundraiser. You came.
Yes.
And look, like I've always told people, I like his style. We work well together. He works well with the Republicans in the House currently, and I think we can expect the same of him in the Senate. And as look, the power dynamic shifts.
Can work well together? Are you kidding me?
Well,
really?
Listen, the power dynamic
Right.
shifts. Okay, it just does. That's the way it works in Vermont. Not so much in Vermont, certainly in the country, and when and if the power dynamic shifts to Republican control of the Senate, I'm absolutely certain that Peter will be just as active as he's always been, because the Republicans trust him. He's the type of person who builds trust among his colleagues. He doesn't take cheap shots, and just a great guy. I mean, there's some things that he and I will never agree on, and we don't talk about.
Right.
But listen, but we
don't
haven't
talk
run
about
out of
those
problems to solve, and I don't think any of us are going to do that soon. So, looking forward to that. And as I pointed out, I got thinking about it, and it's in January, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I don't know if it's really that convenient. Then I really thought about it, and I'm like, holy cow! I was 10 when Pat Leahy, who is really going to be missed, and I wish him well. Him and Marcel deserve a happy, healthy retirement, and they've certainly earned that, and Vermont thanks them. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, I was 10 when he was
This may
when he
never
was
happen again.
sworn in, so I probably won't get this opportunity again. So yeah, so it's going to be kind of fun to be with him and celebrate with him. And
Now, have you ever gone to one before? Will this be
an
your
inauguration?
First?
No,
Yeah.
no.
So this will be your first.
Yeah, Karen got us invited to the White House. That was a kick. Yeah, the whole Secret Service. So we still have to go through a screening and security process, and I think I'll be fine. Karen, I'm a little worried.
You're a little worried.
I don't think she's going to make it.
We when we were doing the coin drop, her and I were teasing Michael about all kinds of things that he didn't know what we were saying. And we were like, wait a minute.
I don't know what the
we
two
are
of you
not
are.
that old. We are not that old. And we were talking about music and bands, and somebody was listening to something.
What, like
and
Glenn Miller?
And
ouch!
She and I said, and he was like, who, what? And you just want to smack people like that. And then
Michael? You can't smack Michael.
and then she says to him, do you know what a fuzzbuster is? And he was like, no. And he said, is it a drink? And her and I laughed like hell, of course. And then we thought maybe we could invent one of those someday, but we had to explain to him what a fuzzbuster
Is it a
was.
drink?
You know.
Way to go, Michael.
Uh,
I'm
yeah,
too
he had
visual.
no
Stop,
clue.
stop.
Yeah, he had no clue. It was hysterical, though. He's so. It's really not that big of an age difference. I'm just saying that it's just not.
Between Michael and I don't know how old Michael is.
Or even Karen
how
and
old
I.
is Michael?
I don't know, but I didn't think that he...
Mid-30s? No, older? Younger?
I think probably mid-30s.
I don't know. There's some
Yeah.
questions I've never asked.
He always says something about when he graduated, the 80s or something, and
I know how old Teddy is because I'm always teasing him and
I'm picking on
telling
him.
him,
He
you
didn't
know,
graduate
I've
in
got
the 80s.
T-shirts older than you are, Teddy.
Right, it's true. It's true.
St. Michael's P-Day, 1981. I've
Yeah.
got Grateful Dead. I've got a whole bunch of T-shirts older than Teddy. So
Yeah. Hey,
there's that.
that's right. But you guys had a great meeting last
Yeah,
night.
we
Really,
did.
I mean, it was a good meeting.
Yeah, a lot of budget, coming up next week on the 20th. We're going to dive into that. We talked about the Public Safety Authority and the city's withdrawal from that, which is unfortunate on some levels, but that's the manager's recommendation. I don't think he's wrong. We want a little bit more information before we vote on that, so I'll be able to get the information likely over the weekend and on Monday, so we'll likely vote that on Tuesday, and so that will be on the ballot. And it's unfortunately it's an organization that just never caught on, even though we like our stuff. We like to hold tight to power, even though it's all an illusion.
Yeah.
They use the regional, the county form of government successfully in other areas of the country. Florida, for example. We laugh here in Vermont, about how they do things in Florida, but it's efficient. Land records, for example. We all, and God bless our town clerks and town
That take care of
treasurers,
all
but
of that?
well,
Yeah.
they do here in Vermont, but it's a pretty inefficient system. If you want to look up land records in any small town, Cabot, Corinth, Barry, you go there. Some municipalities do have them online, not all, and it would be a heck of a lot more convenient to have one repository for land
All of
be and the only way to do that, you'd have to scale it so
Mm-hmm.
that it would be efficient. So the only way to do that in Vermont would probably some sort of county type structure. And I think it would work. I mean, think about Irene. I mean, there were land records that were lost
Yeah.
because they weren't digitized. And that's the gift that keeps on giving when all of a sudden you got a gap in your land records that can be a real problem. So, think of how efficient it could be if we had, the things like water and sewer. If that was regional, it's just water and sewer. It's an enterprise.
Right.
It's a business. That's what it is. So think about how efficient that could be if it were regional, if it were a countywide type structure and we were all working together and interconnected, and I think it would be a good thing. So we tried that with public safety and it never caught on.
And it didn't work.
Because everyone was really concerned about what do I get? What's going to happen to my community? And the commitment was service. We demonstrated that we could enhance service to the municipalities here in central Vermont. But what people could never, select boards and councils could never get away from was how much is it going to cost me? And, is the cost, am I going to, I don't want to pay for your stuff, even though we were demonstrating that, look, a heart attack doesn't care where the help is coming from. It just cares that the help gets there quickly. And in the long run, we could reduce costs. We could certainly strengthen the quality of the service because it would be a bigger department. So we would be more successful. There are a lot of very good candidates that come out of the academy. And it's a career. Law enforcement is a career for them. So they want to be in a department where there's some upward mobility, where there's some opportunity for promotion.
Which is what most
if you got
people want.
if you got a 3 or 4 member department,
Right. That doesn't work so
it's
good.
either chief or everyone else. So training opportunities, dispatching opportunities. But unfortunately, Raylene, it just didn't catch on.
Yeah.
And we, the city of Barry, thank you to the taxpayers, because the taxpayers in Barry and Montpelier saw the potentials for greatness, and so they consistently sent money to the Public Safety Authority and funded them. But it just became clear that it wasn't going
to work.
It wasn't going anywhere soon. There just wasn't the scale to make it all work. So, acting on the recommendation of the manager, we will, we'll bail. I'm bummed.
Yeah.
But so my big question was just, look, are there any unintended consequences? Because there is a charter in place.
Right.
So, I just had questions about, do you keep the charter dormant? Is there a way to do that? We have an investment in that charter. We paid for it.
Once all of this happens, right?
Oh, sure. Well, we don't even know about that. So I couldn't, I didn't want to vote it last evening because I just didn't have enough information and don't want to make a mistake.
And it sounded like many of you felt that same way.
When we really started going, there was just a little bit of some of the information was inconsistent, and we couldn't get the money back guarantee when we looked at people and said, well, are you sure it works this way? Their answer was, no, not exactly. So that's okay. So we'll take a run at it next week. Hopefully it'll be on the consent agenda so it doesn't...
I believe that is how it was left.
Oh, I hope so.
That's where it would be. And
yeah.
And then you guys, you did... That was part of... No, not... Well, yes and no, but that was part of the same conversation as the audit.
You really want to talk about the F-bomb, don't you?
Oh, yes. Well, that, too. we do
it's
have
over.
to talk about
Simple
that.
as that.
It is over.
Simple as that.
Not really that I don't really necessarily want to talk about it. I just, I think,
yeah, it will be on the recording. Unfortunately,
right.
As we were broadcasting the meeting, what happened was, it was an unintentional mistake. We went into executive session to discuss that matter. And when we did, we really missed Teddy in those moments because he's really good with the technology.
Right.
We weren't sure if the owl was recording because we had multiple meetings up. So it took us 10 or 15 minutes to get that straightened out. And then as we got into executive session, we weren't sure that our executive session wasn't being broadcast.
It wasn't,
so,
I promise.
Well, we didn't know.
Right.
And
right.
So, it's executive session. You can't take that chance. So we muted that little twirly thing, the owl.
Yes.
So we muted that. And then when we opened the meeting, we forgot to unmute it.
Yep.
So the sound wasn't coming through. So, we had a discussion, and the council voted to censure Mrs. Mulvaney for the expletive and outburst at the previous council meeting, and we are requiring her to complete 8 hours of anger management training at some point, in the next 30 days. And it's over.
Right.
I know
done.
people were, look, everybody got their emails. No matter where you are on the political spectrum, where your camp is, we all got our emails. And the emails, removal. No, I don't think that's appropriate because she does good work and is just getting going. So, does the term cut off your nose to spite your face mean anything to you?
Right.
And, and she did send an apology to the entire council. She sent a nice written apology. It's over. It's over. We don't have to,
keep it going.
Yeah, and to jump right to removal.
And she'll do.
On reflection, I don't know
what
that
she needs to do to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's over.
And we'll move
things.
Because
I hope we move on.
Every once in a while, we all. Yeah.
I hope there's
I
no.
hope we do too.
We've really got.
Because sometimes we do around here get stuck on things.
I don't get stuck on things.
No, you don't. But the community,
some people can. You know
people
what?
get
We just
stuck
have to give them
sometimes.
more to do.
Yeah.
I don't
People
have
get
the
stuck
luxury of
sometimes.
getting stuck. I've got. Really. Got 3 more real estate closings before a 223 kilowatt solar array to finish up. I got a lot of stuff to do. I don't have time to
We should
hold
talk
grudges
about that
or
sometime because
solar array.
yes, because so many people. Well, you're either really for it or you're really not.
Well, everybody's for
seems to
renewable
be-
energy. You mean the
Well,
solar
Not
panels?
everybody, boy. Yeah.
Well, they're not the
everybody.
prettiest things in the
Right,
world, but
and that's where people get a little bit upset by
neither
it.
is a
And-
bikini wax. What do you want me to tell you?
No,
there's a lot of things in life that aren't. What do you want me to tell you?
No, but we should talk about that sometime about how, no, it's not the greatest, most beautiful thing in the world.
they're
but
they're
the
not
upside
permanent.
of it, right?
It's a solar array.
And it's very low impact.
So really, interesting news in terms of energy this week. There was a bit of a breakthrough. It's kind of like harnessing or mimicking the power of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually able to, they successfully produced a reaction that produces more electricity than it takes to make it. So that's really interesting. And the point is, solar panels are today's technology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you and I meet in 10 years and we want to talk about solar panels, people will probably look at us and say, what the hell's a solar panel?
Right.
I don't even know what that is.
Yep, kind of like the big satellite dishes that we first started with that were 8 feet
Or
wide.
the bag phones.
Yeah.
Technology changes. But today, if you want to reduce carbon emissions, we've got a limited choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what we have. And it's kind of like when people paint a building and sometimes people will go nuts and they hate the color. Well,
Yep.
I don't get concerned about that because you can repaint it.
Right.
It's not permanent. You didn't tear it down.
Reuse the land that you use because the impact is very low.
Exactly. So guess what? When the technology changes, and I believe in appropriate siting, but when the technology changes, you just get rid of the panels. It's not, it's not permanent. And yes, you're gonna, there are solar arrays where they're clear cutting land, and people are a little upset about that. And I get it. We're not where ours is located. It was a good location. So,
are you going to use the goats to keep it all trimmed up in the summer like some people do?
I haven't gotten that far yet. I mean, we know we have to maintain it.
Yeah.
That would
I know
be
that's
kind of
what
cool.
People do. They fence it in and they put the
Miranda would be
sheep
all over
or
that.
goats in there, and
Oh my
that's and
God,
they
she'd love it.
then they keep it all eaten down and.
That might keep her in Vermont.
Well,
she does
know.
goat yoga, which I had never heard of until she sent me a picture.
I've seen videos of that.
When
I don't know that I would be okay with any goat walking or standing on me. But
she
I
says
do love them. They're
clean,
adorable.
cute, lovable little animals, and they hop around and they
do
get up on your
They're
back
naughty.
as you're doing the
They're
yoga.
naughty.
Yeah,
is what they like.
She calls them
to get.
spirited.
Yes,
they're spirited.
Yes,
so
very.
yeah. So yeah, maybe. Ooh, that might just keep her in Vermont.
Yeah, that's.
If
but
we
I've
had
heard
goats,
that's what
she could
people
use them
do.
for goat yoga in the evening, and
That's right.
and they could trim down the solar field
Yeah.
during the day. Get her a pickup truck and a trailer, and she'd run around Vermont with her little goats.
That's right.
Feeding
she
kids.
Would be very happy. Yeah. Yeah.
How do we get on a tangent?
Well,
like
because we
this?
were talking about the solar fields, but
Mhm.
and I know that's how a lot of people maintain them.
Yeah.
In the summertime, because that is even more of a low impact.
Yeah.
And
we were really talking about people not letting go.
yeah.
So look, this, this little dust up is over as far as I'm concerned. I really
Yes.
don't want to talk about it again.
Yes.
Council doesn't need to talk about it again. Look,
Right.
let's move
And
on.
we hope it. And that's the thing is, we hope it's over. Everybody
and
moves
listen,
on,
there was no
and they
agreement
can
amongst
do
anyone.
the work
Look,
that
it
they
wasn't
need to do.
acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mistake.
Which we all make from time
Not
to time.
me. I got drawers full of mistakes. No, I mean, yeah. So it's over. It's done with. We need to focus on the future. We got a lot of work to do here in Barrie.
And what else is
We're
coming
behind.
up?
It makes me antsy. I feel behind.
You do.
I horribly. We're looking at buying a building today, another building in the downtown, partnering up with Pete Coleman. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Not AR Market. We actually sold AR Market to Pete, so not AR Market. Another location, and so we're gonna have fun with that.
Don't you want to buy Newberries? The old Newberries.
I've tried.
Don't you want to? I know you.
I've tried. I mean, I had
wanna
Park Center
I told
goes back to
Michael,
my
I
Park
wanna
Center
put
project.
A big, huge, not really a banner. I don't know what you call them. They're like there's a post on either side, and you put the long, tall banner with informational stuff on it,
Yeah.
right in front of Newberry's, like literally on the sidewalk, inches from their windows.
Ordinances would prevent that.
I know, but I wish we could.
Look,
Because
I'm a big
we could at
respecter
least
of property
prettify
rights,
it.
and I don't like it when people, I always felt that, downtown is like your living room,
Yeah.
and there's a responsibility that comes with owning buildings in the downtown, and
We could at least make it look nice.
you could do a lot of things.
Yeah.
It would look nice on the ground, but
Yes.
that's
It
look, that's just my,
would.
that's my opinion. But you
It
got to
would.
respect the rights of people to do what they want with their own property within reason.
Well, it's good to hear that you're going to do something else because you always
Yeah.
do.
Well, we've
make
got
them.
a range of projects that we've been working on and planning, and and the city's got to do the same. We've got to start having the discussion about housing and all kinds of housing. Down Street, and I'm grateful Down Street is going to be renovating the Ward 5 school, and they're going to have some affordable units there. But we need that missing middle housing. We need market rate housing.
I agree.
Any kind of housing. I don't care where it is on the spectrum. Provided it's an appropriate plan, you're not going to see me complain about it. So, but I know that whatever we do, if we do a significant missing middle piece and the city jumps on board with a partner, and I'm constantly talking to potential partners, we need to do something bigger. Scale is really because everything's so
Absolutely.
expensive.
Yes.
So think of tract housing, and I apologize for the negative connotation that tract housing brings, but think about just after the Second World War, all these GIs returning home, and America was back in business, and people were happy and anxious to move forward. And if you look in the Midwest, if you look even here in Central Vermont, they built tract housing. It was pretty much identical housing, and even look at the scaled developments, the one off Windywood Road in Barrytown.
Right.
It's identical housing, and the reason is you can scale it up, and people get better at it. The electricians, the plumbers, the carpenters. It's a bit repetitive. It's almost like an automobile assembly line where you become efficient, and when you become efficient, the prices come down. So I'm anxious to get going with that and get the budget behind us and go, man, go.
Right. Go. And what do you see? Is there any one thing that you think that you really, really want to focus on for 23? Would that be at the housing?
We've got a lot of things to focus on. I mean, that's the challenge of local any kind of government is you can prioritize things. You've got to be, because you don't always pick your priorities. Sometimes they pick you.
Right.
We've had severe weather events. Thankfully, we haven't had any severe weather events lately in Central Vermont. That could change, and all of a sudden, your focus needs to shift. Right. So, a priority, housing infrastructure absolutely needs to be a priority. And housing for me is the biggest, right? Because that, to me, that solves so many problems. If you've got available housing, then that gives you a greater ability to attract commerce, because you can look at potential employers and say, we have a healthy vacancy rate. Right now, we have a very unhealthy vacancy rate. Oh, yeah. And if you can point at an employer and say, look, we're centrally located and we have a healthy vacancy rate, then obviously they're going to take location in your community a little bit more seriously. You're going to move up on, on their scale. So we got to do that. It's going to be a busy 23. It'll be, we'll have our little dust-ups here and there, and
of course we will.
That's
what happens.
I know, but it keeps it interesting, doesn't it?
Right.
As long as it doesn't get nasty
and
personal.
Baby.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, listen, democracy breeds debate. It's necessary. So, and the one thing that I've always liked about Barry is there's always something to learn. There's always someone to learn from, and usually it's people who may not see things the way you do, and they call your attention to something that, because of your perspective, you hadn't necessarily considered.
And then we have some shifts coming up in, like there's some open seats on the school board, or they're up, and we have some new members running. And so, and then even in the city council this year as well, right?
The only one, I mean, Teddy has announced. The only one who's up, let's see, who is up this year? Teddy, Mel, and Sam, I believe, are up this year. And Teddy has announced that he is running. And I guess Sam and Mel aren't ready yet, so they haven't.
Right, they haven't announced yet. But they have
they
a while
will.
Yet. They have some time still.
End of January.
Before they need to.
23rd, I believe, is when you got to have all your petitions in. So city council included budget. So, we only have city council. We've got a little more than a month to put our budget away and get that ready for the voters. And Nicholas and Dawn and the department heads and everyone is, they've done a good job.
Yeah, they seem to be working really hard.
They're on it. They know it.
He came right into that neck deep.
Yeah.
Too.
So it's going to be,
Fun.
It's, there are so many needs, and we'll always have more needs and more wants than we have resources. That's the challenge. So it's about, to me, governing, as I said before, it's always been about prioritizing. And, everything's important. But not everything can be a priority.
That's all we can do, right?
You got it.
A little bit at a time.
So other than that, what's going on this weekend? Got to wrap presents. Oh, Lord.
I haven't done any.
I got to do that tomorrow night.
Any.
I'll get back
shopping.
to you with that.
No, I haven't even done any. I have not bought one thing for Christmas.
Not one?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, Karen does everything.
It's bad. It's bad.
I'm a big old Christmas loser.
Yeah,
She does everything. She does the decorations. She plans the meals.
And I'm like you. I don't wrap. Like I'm a bad queen too, because you know what? It looks like a 3-year-old did it. It really does. I'm not good at it. I've never been good at it, and I don't even like it. I don't know. I have patience for a lot of things in this world, but that is not one of them.
Yeah. So here's a question for you, because Karen looks at me and says I'm wrong. When you put the package on the wrapping paper and then you make that first fold, and usually it's goes around, it's on the back.
Yep.
Do you put a piece of tape there?
I have to.
So do I.
Or it moves around.
No kidding.
And then looks like crap, even worse. I have to.
No, and she doesn't. And somehow, like a magician, she
does it all,
holds
and
it there
perfect.
and then brrr,
and
then uses like one piece of tape to hold the whole thing. And I'm like,
and she probably makes those big, beautiful bows and all her packages.
Oh yeah,
just
and she
amazing.
uses one piece of tape.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. We have an obligation to the
10.
tape industry, Karen.
People
you need to use 9 pieces of tape.
And people who open my gifts need a jackknife to do it, probably. You just slit. Yeah.
So, to all you moms out there who are really the ones who make Christmas happen,
Yeah. Except for this mom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And to the dads, cheers. It's all good.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
She loves the family part of it. I think that's why she works so hard. She looks forward most, as do I, forward most to just having everyone over. She invites a lot of people over on Christmas, friends who may not have a place to go, and so we have a great time.
That's some of it for me, I guess, is that I'm still stuck a little bit and struggling since losing my mom and my brother.
Aww.
I kind of just don't. I don't even care.
Find your miracle.
Don't want to do it. Really.
Sometimes you got to look a little harder.
I put her tree up in the house, so her tree got set up this year for the first time since she passed. So, I set it up and I decorated it. I did not put this damn garland stuff. She has this ribbon that says Noel on it. It's like this burlap ribbon. That did not get on the tree. Mama, your tree always looked wonderful. It was beautiful, but no. I tried. It was kind of like wrapping presents with
Yeah.
no tape. I tried it. And the first time, like, I got it on there, it was sitting there, and then the top fell down while I was still trying to do the bottom. I was like, you know what? Screw that. And I brought it up in a bottle. I threw it back in the tote.
Yeah, never done the garland. I help with the lights.
Yeah.
And that's it, because the lights are a two-person job.
Yes.
You got to, be passing the lights off as you go around the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I do help with those, but hey, find your miracle.
Yeah.
It's there.
it's
Sometimes you got to
there
look
somewhere.
a little.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to look a little harder, but
I'll get some things.
yeah, but
I'll
we
get
all
'em.
have, we can all find our miracle.
But there's-
It's as simple as that.
There's been so much going on down here community-wise too. We got to be a part of the parade for Marcus
Nice.
Bisson last weekend. He
I watched
had
that.
finished his chemo. I cried through the whole thing. Like, I didn't speak through the whole thing because I cried through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am trying to video. It was freezing. My hands were numb. I was crying, but it was pretty awesome.
It was
pretty
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
he's a pretty
we have
special
great
guy
things.
and a very
Great
special family.
And one of many kids in
Yeah.
families that struggle with all of that. And so yeah,
So I'm glad we could.
we have to be grateful for every day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he owes me Marcus owes me a picture on January 1st.
Yes.
Yeah, they're using my Patriots tickets.
That's awesome.
And so I made sure, I said, look,
I saw you
his
chimed
mom
in.
is awesome. His
Yes.
family is awesome.
They are.
And she said, well, what can I do for you? It's like, send me a picture. I want to see that smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's a
And he
brave
has a
and special young
fantastic
man.
smile.
He does have a
So,
fantastic smile.
Yeah.
Gets
yeah.
it from his mom and dad.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Even
Great
though we
kid.
all know the moms do all the work.
Right. right. All right, honey.
So, ma'am, I got to jump. I'm going to go get my flu shot.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
What? Oh gosh, what?
I already did that. So I'm all vaccinated
I
up.
got a little behind. So
Yep.
I got to so I was behind, and cuz you can't
Well, you're a
do.
busy guy.
Yeah, that's okay. So
You can't.
Karen
you
and I
can't
are,
do all
Karen and I are
things.
going to have a little date and,
and
get jabbed
go get
together.
jabbed. Hey, why not?
But
Why
thank you for having me.
Well, and thank
Today
you
is
for
I
coming
will see.
in.
I might see you next week, unless, like I said, invite a different counselor. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of them have different schedules than I do, but I'll talk to Jake and see what he's up to. And
I would love to have Jake in.
okay, I'll send him down
That would be absolutely
next week.
wonderful.
The special holiday edition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great if he would come in. We would love it.
We'll see what we can do.
But thanks a ton. Have a great day. Have a great upcoming week, and enjoy some of the amazing things going on downtown this weekend.
I plan on it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raylene. You have a
Thanks.
great day.
Have a great day.